Hi everyone, this is Madhan, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering, Sri Ramakrishna Engineering College, Coimbatore. So today I am going to explain about the pulp extraction process. So as we are, paper plays a vital role in our day-to-day life. So we are in need to understand how the paper has been extracted from the industries. Next one is the contents. So first we are going to discuss about the overview of Indian paper industry, and then introduction, and then step 1 is the pulp production. So after these three contents, I'm going to show one video, that is how the pulp has been extracted from the industries, and followed by we are going to discuss about few multiple choice question for the self evaluation. So next one is the overview of Indian paper industry. So Indian paper industry accounts for 3% of the world's production of paper. The total number of paper mills, that is 861, according to Central Pulp and Paper Research Institute (CPPRI) data. Next one is the introduction. Paper is a dried compressed mat of plant fibers. Papers are made with the pulp of woods, which is an eco-friendly product. 90% of the raw material for paper making comes from trees. So next one is the flow chart of paper making process. So in that I'm going to discuss only the pulp production. So in the pulp production, we have the commonly used three methods, that is mechanical pulping, semi-chemical pulping, and the chemical pulping. So these three methods we are going to discuss in this video. So next one is the primary step. So in the primary step, we can able to see the pictures. So first the trees are cutted, and then the barks of the trees are removed, and we can able to see the wood logs and the wood chips. So this is the primary step towards the pulp production. And next one is the chemical composition of wood. So in this diagram we can able to see the three components, that is lignin, cellulose, and the hemicellulose. So in wood we have generally the three components, and the percentage of cellulose, lignin, and hemicellulose, that will be varied from trees to trees. And the next one, the lignin is a class of complex organic polymers that form important structural materials in the support tissues of vascular plants. And cellulose is an insoluble substance which is the main constituent of plant cell walls and of vegetable fibers such as cotton. So in this diagram we can able to see lignin, hemicellulose, and cellulose. So the cellulose will be tightly bonded with lignin and hemicellulose. So our aim is to extract the cellulose from these components. Next one is the step 1 is the pulp production. So pulp is a commercial fibrous material obtained from bamboo, wood, bacchus, etc. So the primary goal of pulping are to free fibers in wood from the lignin and also from the other components. So in the pulp process, which breaks the cellulose fibers that are strong in tension and embedded in a matrix of lignin. So here the lignin that represents the complex organic polymers. And there are three different methods of pulp production to make different strengths and grades of papers. So the commonly used methods are chemical pulping, mechanical pulping, and semi-chemical pulping technique. In this method, mechanical pulping is the oldest method that is followed, and then nowadays they are using chemical pulping method in the industries. So in the chemical pulping uses various chemicals to separate lignin from the cellulose fibers. And in chemical pulping, we have the two methods. One is kraft pulping, or otherwise called as a sulfate pulping, and another one is sulfate pulping. So among these two methods, the sulfate pulping or the kraft pulping method is commonly used. The next one is the kraft pulping. So you can able to see the diagram. So here we have a digester. In the digester, along with the wood chips, there will be sodium hydroxide and the sodium sulfate. So with these type of chemicals, it will be cooked. Okay, and then the main objective of this purpose is to extract the fibers from the wood. So the sulfate or the craft process is the world's most commonly used pulping process, since it yields higher pulp strengths and can be used with all types of wood. So in the craft pulping process, the active cooking with hot mixture of water with chemicals, that is a white liquor, are called as the sodium hydroxide and the sodium sulfate. And next one is the mechanical pulping. So in mechanical pulping, we have the wood logs. The wood logs will be processed along with the high pressured water, and then we have a mechanical grinding process. So by using this method, we can able to extract the fibers from the wood. So mechanical pulping utilizes steam, pressure and high temperatures instead of chemicals to tear the fibers. As the oldest form of pulping is the mechanical pulping, it uses mechanical energy to weaken and separate fibers from wood via the grinding action. So the advantage of mechanical pulping is that it produces much higher yields than the chemical pulping process. And then the fiber quality is greatly reduced in this mechanical pulping. So when compared to the mechanical pulping and then the chemical pulping, in mechanical pulping we can able to get more amount of fiber, but the quality of the fiber is greatly reduced. But in chemical pulping, the amount of pulp that is obtained from this process is lesser, but the quality of the pulp will be higher. And third one is the semi-chemical pulping. So in semi-chemical pulping techniques uses weak chemical solution composed of sodium sulfite and sodium carbonate to help digest the lignin in the pulp. So in addition to the chemical solution, mechanical refining is used to separate the fibers. So among these three methods, nowadays we are going for chemical pulping. The reason is in chemical pulping we can able to extract the fiber lesser, but the quality of the fiber will be higher when compared to the other two methods. So now we'll have one small video in that it will explains in industry how the pulp extraction process is occurred.
Wood chips and sawdust will be used to manufacture the pulp from which paper is made. Bark and other small pieces, known as hog fuel, is burned, generating steam that powers paper machines at the mill and runs turbines to generate green electricity. The wood chips are first screened for size. Pieces that are either too big or too small are returned to the hog fuel pile. Sorted chips are then washed and sent to the digester. When delivered, the content of the wood chips is approximately 50% water and 25% cellulose fiber. The cellulose fiber is what the mill needs to make pulp, which is the main ingredient used to make paper. The remaining 25% is a liquid called lignin. Lignin is the natural glue that holds the wood fibers together. In order to get to the fiber, the first order of business is to remove the lignin. Separating this brown-colored material happens in the digesters. The digesters are like large pressure cookers. The wood chips are placed in this vessel along with some liquid cooking chemicals called white liquor. The lid on the digester is closed and steam is introduced. As heat and pressure increase inside the digester, the lignin begins to dissolve and the wood chips begin to break down. Think of white liquor as soap, separating the wood fibers and washing out the glue.
And then next one is the multiple choice question for evaluating ourselves. So the first one is identify the method in which the fiber is strongly damaged during the pulping process. So option A is mechanical pulping, option B chemical pulping, option C semi-chemical pulping, and option D is the craft pulping. And then the answer is A, that is mechanical pulping. The second one is which of the following statements about cellulose is true? The option A is cellulose is a soluble carbohydrate. Option B is cellulose is a type of animal fat. Option C is cellulose is an insoluble carbohydrate found in plant cell walls. And option D is cellulose is primarily used as an energy storage molecule in animals. And then the answer is option C. Cellulose is an insoluble carbohydrate found in plant cell walls. And the third one is the sulfate pulping is also called as Kraft process. Option A is true, option B is false. The answer is option B, false. And the last question, the removal of the black liquor takes place in washes. Option A, true, option B, false. And the answer is option A, true. Thank you.